This is a really serious matter, and it's affecting everyone everywhere. And, you know, when you get into a situation where you're put into a, you know, hey, God, something's happening, I might die from this, you get this fight or flight physiological syndrome. Literally, it's as if you're walking along and a lion jumps out at you or something. Your eyes bulge, your adrenaline jumps. This isn't really the adrenaline jumping kind of a fight or flight, but now people are seriously thinking, you know, what should I do about this? And you know, this extends to the business too. Eventually, we'll talk about that. What do I do? And how do I manage this? Now, it's really important to recognize that health is more important than wealth. And so there's no question about employees saying, I don't want to work in the office. They're not going to work in the office. At Rappaport, we've closed almost all of our offices. And, you know, there's no issue about people, employees themselves are looking at what's happening and they're saying to themselves, you know, I am not really caring about the job right now. What I'm caring about is not getting sick. And that's really important. So we should understand that everyone is thinking this way, not just people in the diamond or jewelry business, not just our families, but it's a pandemic. Everybody's got that same value question. What should we do? How should we deal with ourselves over here? And so now we realize that there's something much more important than your job. There's something much more important than your business. And that's very, very subconsciously powerful. Now, you can't give Corona, I want to talk about prevention for a minute, since we do have, I don't know, however many hundreds of people on the line. First of all, sometimes you're washing your hands and stuff, and it's important so you don't touch your face, but you can't give Corona to yourself. So what's really going on here is we're dealing with a situation where you sort of have to relate to your environment. You can only give it to others or get it from others. I'm misspelling over there. Oh, sorry, let me go back up. It's from others. You can't, like, so what's going on is I have a sickness, say God forbid, I don't have with this, but yes, say I have a sickness. You go to bed, it's your problem. This isn't your problem. This is everybody's problem because you won't even know that you're sick, and you go out there and you shake someone's hand and he'll touch his face and he'll get sick and maybe die. So, you know, you really got to be careful here because you are in a societal sickness. It's not an individual sickness. So the only solution here is really isolation and what they call the 6 foot or 2 meter rule. Keep 2 meters away from everybody. That's kind of weird psychologically too, because people like to sometimes hug people, be with people, even members of your own family, they're saying you should keep 6 feet away. Maybe people think it's a joke, but in fact, it's the only way to really stop the virus from going on and staying home like I am. So number one is I'm protecting myself from not getting it, but maybe even more importantly, I'm not giving it to other people. So now this isolation stuff works in you subconsciously. So people are getting weird. They're thinking, not getting weird, but they're thinking differently than they used to think. It's like a fundamental earthquake of change in your personality. So what's happening with this coronavirus, it's not just another thing. It's a fundamental thing that's affecting how people think about themselves and society and the world. And they're also finding out that they're isolated now. They're home. They're home with their family. Some people love that. And a lot of people say, oh my God, I never do. I can't live like this with my husband or wife or whatever. I want to also explain the concept of flattening the curve. If everybody gets sick very fast, there's not enough ventilators. There's not enough medical resources to take care of people, so people will die. And so what they're trying to do with some of this isolation stuff, they're trying to abate, slow down the distribution of the disease. So less people get it. They know that a lot of people are going to get it eventually, but less people get it at once so they can beef up the hospitals, get more beds, get more ventilators, get more medicines, get more tests. And that's kind of flattening the curve so medical help can catch up. So, you know, I think everybody's pretty much closing their offices that I know. Maybe, I think all Rappaport offices, Hong Kong, Mumbai, Surat, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, wherever, Dubai, everything's closed. Maybe we have a kind of a skeletal staff in some offices who are keeping the rule. But I really encourage everybody, you know, you really have to take care of yourself. I see there's some hands raised. I'm going to be going a little bit more, and then we'll maybe take some hand raising at the end as well, because I really want to cover the ground, and then we'll take some questions later. So isolation and social distancing it's changing how people think about each other, and of course, jewelry and diamonds. So, you know, in the background, I know I'm not here to talk about coronavirus only. I'm here to talk about how it impacts the jewelry industry. You got to understand, subconsciously, people are starting to think differently about relationships as they spend more time at home and as they isolate themselves from society around them. You know, you might see people getting married more or having relationships and making commitments because they realize being home alone in isolation, it's not such a great thing. So maybe now it's time to really, you know, get closer to your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. Now, look, this is serious stuff. And it gets more serious as you get older. Okay, I'm 68 now. I got a 3.6% chance of dying. Holy crap. And I don't know if what the probability of catching the disease is. And maybe it's not going to happen to me, I think, but you never know. So you want to be careful. And there's 219,000 cases. 9,961 people have actually died. There's another 15,000 cases every day. It's just the beginning of this thing. Interesting that young people say up to 50, you know, not really, maybe more people get into car accidents. So there's going to be a division about how they treat this disease. There was a picture of a whole bunch of people on the beach in Florida, young people, spring break, they don't give a damn. But when you think about it, if they come home, they might kill their grandmother. And how we treat the elderly. And that'd be kind of crazy. You're a young millennial, came home, said hello, gave my mother a kiss, grandmother a kiss on the cheek, or my mother, and then she touched the grandmother, and the grandmother actually has a 49.8% chance of dying. And this is death. This isn't like, oh, a little problem, you know. This is like the last stop. So we really need to be careful here, and we need to recognize that coronavirus is going to change social values. And it might create some kind of a, I don't know, difference between young people and old people, you know. The boomers are finally getting theirs. But I'm not going to go into this too much because there's issues about transferring wealth, how that affects society, and how people spend money. And there's also a question of this jewelry that's going to be the state jewelry and stuff. I'm not going there now, but I want you to know all these things matter. And a disproportionate number about the population dies. I mean, they're talking about 9,961 deaths so far. I've heard people talk about 2 million deaths. And I don't know what's going to happen in Africa. But in any case, this is serious stuff, and everybody should be very careful. Now, excuse me, I want us to understand. There's disruption. Oh, you know, Uber does disruption. Synthetic diamonds does disruption. That's like a one-time disruption. But here you're talking about disruption at the individual level. Me, what's going to happen to me? Personal security. Will I get medical treatment? Look at what's going on. People running to supermarkets and buying stuff, food, toilet paper, but they're all buying. They don't even need that much food. But there's a need inside of them to take care of themselves, personal security. It's like subconscious. Financial security. What's going to happen to me? Am I going to lose my job? All the jewelry stores are closed. All the department stores are closed. Everything's closed. The restaurants are closed. What if you work in a restaurant? What if you own a restaurant? Will I have money? Will I have a job? What's going to happen? I'm going to be sick and I won't have a job and I won't have money? And this idea of isolating you. I'm isolated. I can't talk to my friends. I can't hang out. I can talk to them using the internet. But, you know, this is kind of weird. And so this is happening. This is really happening in society. And you can't ignore the effect it's going to have on how people think about themselves. And eventually jewelry and all that. But how they think about their friends, how they value friendship, how they value, you know, what it means to be with people if they now find themselves forced into isolation and social distancing. Now, I was looking for a word greater than disruption, because this is more than just disruption. And so I brought it out and I said, we'll talk about individuals as disruption, but we're going to talk about some concept called creative destruction. I mean, that's something that came out of Sumter. It's an interesting concept. I'm not going to go into the whole economics of it, but it's a new global value system. The first thing is it affects everybody. So if something happened, it affected only people who take taxis on Uber. Okay, you know. But this is not well beyond that. This is everybody everywhere going through those personal security, financial security, social security feelings. So there's stuff coming from the bottom It's not like only because it came from on top, there's a new software, there's a new thing. No, no, no. This is coming from billions of people from the bottom up, how they're feeling about what's going on. And they're going to change values here. Redefining globalization and economic interdependence. I mean, we're not just talking about President Trump and fighting with China. No, no, no. We're talking about, hey, these Chinese guys made me sick. I'm not against China. Or they're saying, hey, I don't want anyone to travel to my country from Europe. I mean, it's amazing. Who would dream of such a thing? I'm in Israel. Everything's closed down. No airplanes. Nobody can come in. Nobody. It's like closed. But America, you know, they're closing America. And so globalization, you talk about globalization, you can't travel, you can't visit, you can't, you know, I don't know, products you can ship, I guess. But the idea of economic independence and is now becoming more and more of an issue. It's not just trade wars anymore. It's maybe health, it's not wars, but it's security concerns, health security concerns. So we're changing how people think about themselves in the world. We're rejecting old values, saying, no, I'm not going to travel to that conference. No, I'm not going to go to that show. No, I'm not going to do business that way. And we're thinking about new technology-driven values like right now, we're using Zoom. I'll tell you something interesting. You know, I was fortunate. As soon as the market went down, I just sold out, okay? But I was lucky. I got out of all my shares. But I bought Zoom. I said, hey, this is technology everyone's going to be using. We're members of Zoom. We use Zoom for many years. Okay. Now, we should understand that this creative destruction is coming, and it's going to change how people want to buy diamonds and jewelry. It's going to change how we run our shops. It's going to change how employees feel about it. Now, there's Newton's third law of physics says every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So I want you to think about what's going on over here with this coronavirus, making everybody crazy. Think about what's the reaction. What's going to happen now? Okay, so if someone came over to you and pushed you, and then you would get pushed into a tree or push something else. So the thinking here is, what is going to happen because of this coronavirus? How's it going to impact people? Okay, now look, we don't know everything that's going to happen, but we know something's going to happen. And we need to think about that. Because if the bigger the force, the more disturbing to society, the more people are staying home, the more stores are closed, the more malls are closed, the more entertainment is changed. You know, all those things combined are like a force. And what is that going to do to how we are going to think about luxury products? I'm not saying about luxury, but how are we going to think about security? How are we going to think about diamonds? How safe are we going to feel? What do you think about money? What do you think about jobs? All this is kind of coming down on people. It's just the beginning now. So we got to start thinking about what is that going to cause? What implications? And we should be careful to understand unintended consequences dominate. Now, sometimes people do things, and there's a purpose. You know, they planned it. They raise taxes. They create a new Uber. They make a, excuse me. I really am not sick, but I'm coughing anyways. Anyways, you've got these things that sometimes there's an intention to do something, and because you did this, something else happens. But now, no one planned this coronavirus. So the unintended consequences are going to dominate. So to some extent, we're in a high level of uncertainty. Just look at that stock market going up and down like a yo-yo. That's because we don't understand what's going to happen as a result of what has happened, okay? Not only don't we know what has happened, okay, we don't know what implications. And even when I was talking to somebody who says, you know, okay, China's going to get better maybe. That could be. But the implication of what's happening now is in the whole rest of the world. There's more new cases happening in the rest of the world than there is in China. So the issue is no longer China. It's the fact that people are getting sick outside of China. And then it's not just that people are getting sick out of China. Now it's like stores are closing because the solution for the coronavirus problem is isolation. And therefore, all movie theaters and more stores and everybody's gone. The malls are dead and the jewelry shops are closed. So that's a second level thing that's happening. And then there'll be other things that will go on. For example, people who are manufacturing diamonds or have inventory, because the stores are closed, they're going to have enough inventory. They're not going to buy new goods, and you're going to get a whiplash effect. Okay, so if the stores are selling around 10% less, or 90% less, or 60% less, it'll be 100% less in places like India. So, anyways, be aware that it's complicated and that there are spillover effects that are happening.